10 ways to close. How many of you are afraid to ask for the order? How many of you think it's inappropriate to talk about money with your clients-to-be or existing customers? Don't be. Business people need to talk about money because it's their business. So know that right off the bat. Don't be afraid to ask for the order because you've taken them so far, right? You've identified that you're birds of the same feather. You've identified what level of interest they're at, and now you're facilitating the process for them to move to the next level. They want your help. They're desperate for your help. So don't be afraid, no matter what those challenges are. So would you agree or disagree that today's market is tougher than it was a couple of years ago or 20 years ago or whatever years ago? Yes, it is crazy tough out there. And one of the major reasons for that is because of the fact that our buyers are more sophisticated than ever because of the internet. Period, end of story. However, people still buy from people. People still buy from people. And that's why you're paying attention to this program, because you know that you have the power to inspire people to say yes. Good. So let's rock and roll with how to be asked for the deal. We're bridging. Closing's bridging. We know what a buying signal looks like. We need a 3-part closing system. 3 parts again. Why is that? You might want to read one of the reference materials in your resource section of your program about Zen. There's something magical about the number 3. It's balanced. It provides balance and energy. And you want to know what else? It's all you can remember at one time. Let's face it, same with your clients. So, what do we need to do to set up the play in order to inspire our clients to be commit? Looking at your tools, the very first thing you need to do is set them up with a commitment statement. Present a commitment statement. I'm going to show you how to develop them. Second thing, you go for the trial close. You'll see what that looks like in a minute, and then you close them. So it's like if you play basketball, right? You're dribbling the ball, you're setting up the play, poof, through the hoops, yes, because you did the 3-part system that you were coached to do in the first place. It's the same thing with closing. First step, commitment statement. It's another formula. Yes, it's another formula that people respond to every single time. It's bizarre. What does it look like? It's a fact, followed with the benefit that you've already crafted. You've already crafted benefits that are compelling to your clients to be. And in between these 2 slices of bread, you insert the word "so you can." So a commitment formula begins with a fact, hooked with the word "so you can," completed with a benefit. What does this example look like? Well, first we have to figure out where these facts come from. Facts can come from your interaction questionnaire. Facts can come from your needs assessment tool that you should develop. Facts can come from what you hear on the street and they confirm for you, right? So the questions that you're asking. So far, so good? So an example of a fact is we want to grow. That's the fact. We need to increase our profit margins by another 2%. That's a fact. We have to reduce our employee turnover rate by at least 8% or else we're in trouble. Or we just have to reduce our employee turnover rate. That's enough. They don't know how much. They just know they do. That's a fact. Fantastic. You're looking for the benefits. You ask how come. They tell you. Right? For example, you need to grow so you can sell the company. That's what your client told you. That's a commitment statement, and you're doing this. Now, what if your client-to-be says, no, it's so fast, it's not true? You pull back. You pull back, and you start the process again. Conduct an analysis, and then make another commitment statement based on what you learned. It's not complicated. Pull back, ask questions. So we finished the Commitment statement, we tie them to the commitment statement. Yes, I want to sell the company. You may even wish to refine that a little bit more. By when? By when? They say 5 years. I never let people off the hook with that one, by the way. It's never fantastic. And what year are we talking about, please? And when they start to do this, when they start to count the number of years out from this year to a specific year, then you'll know that it's not an ironclad goal. But when they answer you, and don't say a word while they do the calculations, I know you're desperate to help. I understand that you wish to facilitate the buying process by answering all your questions yourself, by asking all the questions you ask yourself before they have a chance to answer. I know you do. But please don't. Let them do the calculation in their head, sit, and wait until they say 2017. And then you ask, what month? And then you ask, what day? That's the commitment statement. You need to grow so you can sell the company in January 17th, 2017. Then you do the trial close. Now you're ready to say, am I on the right track? Notice how it's a closed-ended question. An example of a trial close is, am I on track? An open-ended example of a trial close is, how does that sound? Better than am I on track? Because what could be the possible answer to a closed-ended question? A no. So we try to reduce the chances of that as much as possible. How does that look? Okay, if you notice that your client-to-be is talking in a lot of language that says, I see. Or if they say, yeah, if I see, I envision, we have a destiny, then you may wish to say, how does that look? If they're saying, I feel as though, right? Your trial close could sound like, how does that feel? Especially if they have a lot of fuzzy upholstered pillows in their offices. You may want to know that you can go with the feel word, all right? Okay, good. So you got the point. That's the first two steps. Now we're ready for the close because you've got them pulled towards you. They're getting closer. And I swear that's where the word close came from. I think the word close came from close. I really do. I really believe that. And there are 10 different types of closing statements that you can use. And they are the assumptive close, the alternative close, the puppy dog, the similar situation, the assumptive sandwich, the value triangle, the major objection, the confirmation close, the takeaway, and the guilt close. Now think of your closing statements as your wardrobe. Think of it as your wardrobe. Ladies, you have formal attire and you also have casual attire. You have bikinis and you have pants. You would wear the most appropriate piece of clothing dependent upon the situation. Yes? Well, it's exact the same thing with our closing statements. So gentlemen, you too have a wardrobe of ties. Some of you might. I keep forgetting I'm on the West Coast. Right? So you may have a tie that you know is not appropriate for one situation rather than another. Or you may have a jacket that you know is a better piece of clothing to wear than another. And that's what I urge you to think of these as clothing that you just try on and see how it fits your client to be. That's all they are. So let's explore them a little deeper, please. The assumptive close. This should be the first close you use, each and every time. How many times did I ask you to overcome objections?
3 times.
Exactly, 3 times. I want you to, therefore, attempt to close 3 times. Using the 3-part closing system, you will have success. Because remember, you're not asking for the entire deal necessarily, you're asking them for the next step. And the next step could be an appointment to review the discussion document. The next step could be meeting with all the decision makers. Right? It's not necessarily the deal. So the assumptive close, I like to call this the let's close. So on your notes, in your tools, you can cross off assumptive and write down let's. It's the let's close. It's also known as the West Coast close. People in the West respond better, we've noticed, than people in the East with the let's close. Just a tip for you there. Let's get this started. Let's do this. You'd be shocked how that works. And you notice the way I'm not putting a question mark after the statement. Let's do this? Should we do this? Okay, what did I just instill in your mind? Doubt. Exactly. So we're never putting a question mark, which means that we do not put an uptone inflection at the end of our sentences when we're bringing them closer and asking for the order. Ever. It's never a question. All right, so far so good. That's that first one. The let's close, my personal favorite. The next close for you to use, and the most common and easiest close for you to use, is the double choice close, also known as the alternative close. Which would you prefer? Option A or option B? Which do you like better? The apple or the pear? Which do you like better? Which do you prefer? The apple or the orange? People in the East love this close because it gives them a sense of control. You got it. Gives them a sense of control. So if the first one didn't work, try that one. All right, now, what if neither worked? Remember, pull back. Never just go in there and, oh, now I'm going to whip out the puppy dog. Got to pull back and ask, how come? Right? Did they say neither? How come? To understand. Right? And they have to set up the play again. You're listening to them. You're asking them questions. The commitment statement, the draw close, another close. Close close. So another third type of tie or dress that you can take from your wardrobe is the puppy dog. The puppy dog is fantastic as long as you have one, which means that you should be offering a piece of the deal for money. It can also be, however, that demo for a 30-day free trial. That's the puppy dog. Where the puppy dog comes from is the pet store owner. And by the way, this is working online now, the scenario I'm about to give you. So who is searching the net? Little girls wishing to have a puppy. And what do, they drag, Daddy, 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 I want this puppy. And a screen pops up and says, we will provide you with this puppy at no charge. None, free, it's yours to start. For a period of 7 days. And if you wish not to keep this puppy after 7 days, you can return it. No questions asked. But of course, you need a couple of things first. You need puppy food. You need a puppy dog bowl. You need a water dog bowl. You need a leash. You need tags to put the address in case the puppy wanders away. But you know, you got the gist. And all of a sudden now the bill is racked up to $249 plus tax. And they've already invested. But the puppy's free. They can bring it back. How often is that puppy dog returned after 7 days?
0.
10%
Exactly.
if the mom doesn't know.
Very good. 10% of the time the mother doesn't know. But is she going to love that puppy? All right, so now think about that in your business context. What's your puppy dog? Is it phase 1 of a solution? Is it a free visit to the gym? That's why you see more and more gyms, by the way, offer 3 visits for free, right? Because you need to get people into the habit of it. Yoga studios, 1 free week's pass. Use as much as you like. Okay, there's nothing wrong with free as long as people know that there's a next step. Please never use the word pilot in your vocabulary when selling the puppy dog clothes. Planes can crash. And that sometimes is what's in people's minds when they hear the word pilot. So far, so good? So develop your puppy dog and use it. Number 4, the similar situation close. This helps overcome the credibility objection, right? And it's a formula again. It should follow a very specific formula. Name drop a very easy to recognize customer, and then you specifically cite the fact that within a certain period of time, a very specific result occurred through the utilization of your service. Compelling? Absolutely. However, it needs to be hooked with either the assumptive close, let's get this started, or the double choice. Which would you prefer? Option A or option B? The similar situation close relieves the credibility request objection. And if you have a simple one-page, 8.5 by 11 case study, now's the time to present it. Ooh, I love the sandwich close, especially when I'm hungry. Sandwich close works really well when a particular aspect of the deal is not palatable. So it comes in very handy when your clients-to-be don't quite get the value of your offering. And it can sound as simple like, I'm just first going to state, you're saying to yourself, I'm first going to state their need, their fact. You need to outlast your competition. With a deposit of only $1,500, your website launch is guaranteed to ensure that tourists will see you first and last. So think about how you can make that now as a formula for your company. The sandwich close, where you're burying in the middle of the sandwich the price objection. And what it looks like is the bread, meat, bread. So the meat in the middle is the price that you have to present to them. $5,000 is what you said the investment was going to be. No problem. You just put in the middle of 2 pieces of bread, and the first piece of bread is the fact, their need again. Sounds like your commitment statement, only you're repeating a different need. You're stating a different need. And the meat is the dollar value. You should say by when, by the way. And the benefit we will have your website up by March 31st, 12 noon. And you'll start to see clicks. And thereby money. All right? So it's a so you can. Again, it's a formula. Keep using the formulas and build your own tools. The value triangle. It too is another closing tool that enables you to overcome that price objection. Because it will probably present itself to you a number of times. It's okay. It's going to be fine. All you need to do is explain to them, and I call it the cocktail napkin close, by the way. You draw it on a piece of paper in front of them if you can. And when I'm actually online with people and over the phone, I'll say, do you have a piece of paper in front of you? Why, yes, I do. Do you have a pen in your hand? Of course I do. Fantastic. Do me a favor. Draw a triangle. Great. Now, turn it around so the pointy end is faced towards you. Pointy end is facing you. Fantastic. Write V in the middle for value. Okay? Would you agree that value comprises of 3 things? The amount of money that you're paying for it, the quality of what you're getting, and the timeliness of which it's delivered by. Would you agree that that's pretty much makes up the calculation of value in most people's minds? Yes. I've never had one person say no. Oh, not true. I have had one person say no, and I knew right off the bat they were not in my bucket. All right? So when people are stuck on price and you use the value triangle close, you have to keep talking. And the talking is, well, would you also agree then that each one of those 3, price, quality, and timeliness, are related to each other, and when you affect one, it will affect the other. Is that true? Is that true? Mm-hmm. Right. you get a yes every time. So no problem. We can reduce the price for you, but it's going to affect quality because we're going to have to remove some things from the solution. Would you like that? No. I don't want the quality to suffer. Right? If they say yes, then remove them. Right? Which is why you have a menu of deliverables in your discussion document if they need to see something like that. And you just take it out and say, if this was what you want, this is what you'll get. That's no problem for me, but you have to be sure that that's what you want. Yes, it is. Fantastic. Press hard. The fourth copy is yours. All right? Another way to phrase it is, you've got, okay, fantastic. We've got two choices here if you're going to affect the price. Remember, you're putting the control on them. If you are going to affect the price, it's not us. You never say, all right, if we cut the price. It's not their problem if you cut the price. It's your problem. So you say, should you wish to adjust the price, you have to pick something. It's either the delivery time or it's going to be the quality. Which would you rather sacrifice? And wait for the answer because they have to think about it. And let them talk themselves into what usually works out to be the solution you proposed. Okay? All right, this is also known as the printer's triangle close, which is no problem. You want it fast, it's going to affect the quality. This is obviously before digital printing. You want it fast, it's going to affect the quality, right? You want it fast, it's going to affect the timing. Which one? Which one do you want? I can run it with everybody else's stuff with the same color. What if they still say no? It's going to be okay. It's going to be just fine. You use the major objection, close. They're giving you tons of objections, lots of reasons to buy. You haven't been able to get them to commit to the deal. So what you need to do is pull back again. All right, Fred, let's stop here. Please could you, no, let me rephrase that. Let me pull back. And you guys definitely take notes for this because this is a powerful close. It's a powerful close. Let's pull back for a second, please. You shared with me that your challenges were increased competition, war, employee turnover. What else? What else? And you wait. And he says, I'm about to lose an acquisition. I wasn't able to tell you earlier that we've been embarked on an acquisition. We're about to merge with the company, but it looks like it's going to go south, the deal. Okay. Potential loss of an acquisition. What else? If this happens, my key vice president is going to leave. Okay? That down? Got it? What else? Well, that's it. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's everything. Fantastic, Fred. Now this list of all these challenges you just explained to me. And again, you can present it to them in person. Could you circle the biggest one, please? Just give it a circle. Takes your pen, he thinks about it, he circles the biggest one. In his mind, his perception. I assure you that when you ask them, after repeating their list of challenges that they shared with you, their issues, and you ask them what else, and you keep asking, and they circle the one, no matter what it is, no matter which one they circled, and you say, would you agree that when we take care of the rest, that will disappear? The answer is always the same. They go, yes. Yes. Even if it's my wife's going to leave me. And I've heard that. Even if it's that big of a challenge. Because they realize when everything else disappears, they're okay. They're going to be fine. All right. Not almost done with the different types of closes. All right. If all else fails, go for the confirmation close. Okay, and I actually used this in the insurance industry, you don't want to know how many years ago. All right, and I was dying with a very senior level executive in the insurance industry in Alberta. And I was based out of Toronto at the time. And my mandate was to fly to Alberta and close this particular brokerage firm. Getting nowhere. Finally, I just said, that's it. It's because I'm a woman, isn't it? Yep. His eyes did pop out of his head. And I went, it's okay. It's okay. Can I use your phone? He goes, turn around. Boop, 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 boop. Hi, Joe. It's Pauline. I got George here. Yes, he'll talk to you. He wants to talk to you. I knew that was going to be the situation before I flew out to Calgary. I told my boss, my manager, that that was going to happen. I asked him specifically to be there at that exact time between a 30-minute period so he could talk to my client to be and close the deal for me. This is how it went. I said, I'll be outside. I'll be outside. Okay, went outside, sat around the corner in a chair that I moved outside of his office before I went into his offices because he was close enough to the foyer. The longest 13 minutes of my life, I timed it. Longest 13 minutes of my life. He grabs the door open, he walks out there, he's looking for me, right? Oh, you're right there, get in here. Here's your contract, go. Done, closed, yahoo! Because I used the confirmation close. I had to find out what was wrong, what was in the way. I was not walking out of there with my tail between my legs. And I still do today. And it's okay to find out from people why they won't buy. You just have to hit them with it. So what's your confirmation close? Think about the time that you didn't take that extra step of confirming with your client to be why they won't commit. And don't be afraid to ask. Because then you have nothing to lose. At that point in the game, you have absolutely nothing to lose. But you notice by my story, I was ready for an alternative plan and strategy. So the other point of that story was involve other people into your deal to make sure that if it's not matching with that individual, which is why I'm a big fan of co-deals, salespeople going together. Oh, I made a ton of money at Teleglobe because I was teamed up with another woman in business, very different style than me, very different style than me. And the minute we saw that the buyer found either one of us more attractive than the other, we would sit next to each other, we tapped each other's foot, and that woman would lean in, right, to that particular client and only engage with that person. And I, if I was not the one, would lean back and not say anything, not say a word. And we closed deals. We were like, oh, with the top salespeople there. It was beautiful. All right, those are the 80s. You're not done yet. There's one last one. My personal fave. The takeaway. What do people want? What they can't have? Diamonds. Yes, they're a girl's best friend. They're also plentiful. There are more diamonds available in the world today, underground and above, to provide every single North American woman with 3. Now, add that to all the other countries in the world. That's how many diamonds there are. Everyone can have 3 diamonds. Every woman in the world can have 3 diamonds. That's how many diamonds there are. But what's the game they play? The takeaway. They're scarce. They're rare. They're hard to obtain.
They're forever.
They're forever. I love it. What's your diamond? What's your takeaway? Well, we recommend that you do not wait until the end of the relationship when you use a takeaway. You use it at the beginning. And it sounds like we may not be the best fit for you. Let's take a few moments to explore. the possibilities. So you see how I use the takeaway and the assumptive close together. And you should always use it at the beginning of your relationships with people. You know, there may not be a fit here. Not sure. But let's take a few moments to explore. Because what do people want? They want control over the situation. They want to be able to opt out if they want to. And they want to know that they're not going to hurt your feelings. That's what they want. So give it to them at the beginning of the relationship. Yeah, the lead in is usually right before you're about to make an appointment. You know, we may not be the right fit for you. Let's book an appointment to explore if there's a fit or not. Can you wear that? Can you wear that garment comfortably and authentically? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Because you're not for everyone. You're not for everyone, and you don't have time to be with everyone. So you must play hard to get. Respectfully. Corporately. Ties back to your bucket, your target market. Okay? Need A. The 10th close, the go close. The guilt close we already talked about. As Barry said, it's when they didn't show up for the appointment that they promised that they would commit to you. Man, they feel terrible. They feel horrible. So ask for something. Ask for something right away when they start to apologize. Think about what it is. It could be, let's get that appointment set up with all the decision makers. It could be, let's start with phase 1. It could be, let's get that demo installed in your offices. It could be as simple as you saying, how do you plan to make it up to me? And wait. Wait for the answer. And they'll tell you. Don't take lunch, by the way. No, lunch does not make you any money. Let me buy you lunch. Let me kill myself now. You can tell we're starting to wrap things up. All right, good. Those are the 10 closes that you can use each and every time you interact with your clients to inspire them to move up the levels of interest. So they'll say yes each and every step of the way.